It is a story of crazy boy who kills girls and extracts fragrance from their bodies. The film story starts in a jail where a prisoner is seen all chained. The prison guards come and open the jail door. They drag the prisoner out into the balcony where all the citizens are seen screaming and calling out loud to him with names such as murderer, a beast, and a killer. The jailer asks the guards to announce the punishment. The guards announces in front of the entire crowd that the court has declared him to be hanged after 2 days. But before hanging him, the executioner will break off his hands and feet. All the people get thrilled and excited after hearing this. Who is the prisoner after all? Let's see. Now the story moves back to a few years ago where we see a fish market in Paris, which was the smelliest place in the entire city. People used to earn their bread by selling fish and meat. Here we see a lady who sells fish. She gives birth to a dead child. This lady had already given birth to 4 dead children. She kicks the baby with her feet into stream along with all the rotten fish. But this time she had given birth to an alive baby. She throws him away thinking that he too is dead. After smelling the rotten fish, the child starts to cry. All the people standing by see the child and start cursing his mother. This child is the same prisoner who has been punished. His name was Jean. He possessed two qualities. Firstly, he had such a nose that had perfect sense of smell, and secondly, whenever someone tried to leave him, that person used to die somehow. As his mother, who had thrown him after birth, gets hanged as punishment, Jean is sent to an orphanage owned by Madame Gallard, who used to foster the children only for the sake of money. The children at the orphanage were scared that they could be replaced. They try to kill Jean, but Madame Gallard saves him and beats those children. Due to facing certain difficulties at orphanage, Jean fails to speak till 5 years of age. He used to know about the everything by smelling them. Now at the age of 13, due to shortage of vacancy at the orphanage, Gallard sell him to a person who collects animal skins. As soon as Jean leaves, some thieves kill Gallard and steal all of her money. The person to whom Jean was sold takes a lot of hard work from him. He also takes him to the city where for the very first time Jean smells some wonderful fragrances other than bad odors and enjoys the new surrounding. After leaving his luggage, Jean looks at a shop which is perfume shop and he gets attracted to it. He sees a shopkeeper holding a very famous perfume. At the same time, he senses another fragrance which was coming from a fruit selling girl. He gets attracted to her. That girl offers him some fruit thinking that he's hungry, but he holds her hand, which scares her and she runs away. Jean finds her by using his strong sense of smell. He goes and sits behind her. The girl feels as if someone is behind her and she starts to scream, but Jean covers her mouth. He keeps her mouth covered as he is scared of people that they may gather around. As soon as the people leave, he removes his hand from her mouth and she dies eventually, and her fragrance gradually fades as well. Jean is shocked that where did the fragrance go? Now let's talk about another character who was one of the greatest perfumer of Paris. Due to the arrival of new perfumers in the city, his work has been badly affected. He used to copy other perfumers. On the same evening, Jean visits his shop to deliver goat skins, where he sees different kind of perfumes. Jean smells the fragrance coming from a Baldini's body and tells him that he can make the exact same perfume with the fragrance that was coming from his body. Baldini makes fun of him. Jean tells him about the ability of his power. Baldini gives him a chance. Jean makes different kind of perfumes for him. On smelling these perfume, he senses Amour and Psychic, which was very famous perfume. Baldini is left in shock after seeing this. Jeans tell him that he can make even better perfume than this. After smelling the perfume, Baldini starts missing his old friend and he knows he had a lot of talent. He buys Jean from Grimmel. On the same night, Grimmel falls into a stream after getting drunk. Because of Jean, Baldini perfume starts getting famous all around the Paris. Now he teaches Jean his methods of making perfumes. He tells Jean that every perfume has 3 sets which consist of 4 different scents. It means there are total of 12 scents, and a human can easily differentiate them all. Other than these, if someone makes a 13th perfume, no one will be able to match up to him. Jean strongly feels and starts thinking that he will be able to make it. He asks Beldeny to teach him the process and promise him to give its best method in the world. Beldeny tells him the process of adding 10,000 flowers into a bottle through his own designed machine, which he had learned before coming to Paris. One day, Beldeny sees Jean crying. On asking, he tells Beldeny that you are a liar and your method is totally flawed. I could not even capture iron or glass into a bottle. After all, this Jean gets unconscious. Beldeny gets really worried over his sickness, thinking that he might lose his fame. Jean asks him about the other process and Beldeny tells him how to extract fragrance from animal body fat. He orders him to go to Grasse, which is a place. In return, he takes 1000 formulas from him. Beldeny sends him from there and Jean starts learning to work in Grasse. After Jean leaves, Beldeny's house starts to break down, causing his death. While going to Grasse, Jean, for the very first time, realizes the sense of freedom. He was no one's slave and he could take his own decisions. Now, there are two ways to go to Grasse, one through a village, while the other goes through a mountain. He starts going through the mountain. On his way, he sees a cave where he starts to rest. He sleeps peacefully and spends some days there. One day, he dreams about that fruit-selling girl. Jean wakes up feeling uneasy. He starts smelling his body, but he does not recognize any smell. He goes out and takes a shower in the rain, after which he realizes that he does not have a fragrance of his own. The very next day, he starts his journey towards Grasse. On his way, he senses the same fragrance that he had felt from that fruit-selling girl. He sees a very beautiful girl getting off from a carriage. After this, he follows her and comes to Grasse. While following this girl, he enters the place which belongs to a rich person named Riches. And that beautiful girl, Laura, is his daughter. She was the prettiest girl in the entire Grasse. Jean works here under a lady whose husband keeps a very strict eye on him. While living with them, John learns two new ways to extract perfume from animal body fat. He applies the first method on his female co-worker, where he boils her dead body in a tank along with the animal fat, but he does not get successful. In the second process, he uses a dancer, where he uses pieces of clothes covered in an animal body fat. After killing her, he removes her hair and covers her body with those clothes, after which he extracts perfume from fat covered clothes, following Beldeny's method, and gets successful, which he applies onto that dancer's dog to check. Now he makes a set of 13 bottles as told by Beldeny, which means one murder for every bottle. At Laura's birthday, all the boys and girls play hide and seek, where by chance Jean also comes and attacks Laura, but somehow she survives, and two twin girls go missing from that party. Now we see that Jean makes the first two bottles after killing those two girls. Both of these girls' dead bodies are seen floating in the water under the city's bridge. After this, a sequence of girl murders starts in the city. By fear, people start locking their doors from the outside to save their daughters. Jean gets successful in making a set of 12 bottles and he mixes them all in big bottle. Now to create the most perfect perfume, he needs one more bottle, which means the murder of Laura. After seeing all of this, Riches says that all the victim girls were very young and their bodies had no sign of violence. The murderer must have killed them for a specific reason. All the people visit the church for help and the church father agrees to help them. There comes a man announcing in the news that the murderer has been caught. After hearing this, all the people get very happy. Riches does not believe in this news. He is worried about his daughter and decides to leave Grasse. The very next day he leaves with his daughter. Jean senses the smell of Laura leaving the city. He starts following them and finds them with his ability. On the other side, the dancer's dog detects the hair and clothes of its owner in Jean's room. Drew sees all this, who is a Jean's co-worker. After police investigation, the hair and clothes of other girls are also discovered. Riches spends the whole night in a hotel with his daughter Laura and keeps the key to his daughter's room with him. Jean steals the key from his room and goes to Laura's room. The very next morning, when Riches enters his daughter's room, he sees her dead body and cries a lot. Now Jean is successful in making the 13th bottle and mixes it into a final bottle. Here Jean is arrested by the police and the story moves forward after 2 days, where the punishment is being announced. People are coming from afar to see Jean's death. They bring Jean out of the jail. On getting a chance, he opens the lid of that perfume bottle as all the people stand in wait for Jean. He gets off from a carriage like a prince and moves towards the executioner. The executioner gets on his knees in front of Jean and calls him innocent while crying. Now Jean sprinkles the perfume on a handkerchief and waves into the air. After inhaling it all, the people feel as if they are in heaven and they start calling him an angel. He starts thinking of himself as the savior of all these people and throws his handkerchief among those people. Within a little time, all the people, either young, old, rich, poor, black or white, forget everything and start loving each other. After watching all this, Jean feels true love. Here he thinks about that fruit selling girl. He wishes that he had loved her in such a way he would have made her his own. He gets sad after thinking all this and starts crying. Suddenly Riches appear holding a sword in his hand to kill Jean, but he too gets out of control due to his fragrance. He gets down on his knees and asks for forgiveness. Jean realizes his mistake and leaves the city. In a little while, the perfume effects disappears from amongst the people. Now Jean goes to same fish market where he was born. He takes out that bottle from his pocket and pours it all over himself. After that, all the people sitting around start getting over him. Due to the effect of perfume, they start tearing him apart. In this way, Jean dies and our movie is also end here. If you like the explanation, please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you.